In order to grow our followers and drive engagement, we use a bot called Instagress. And so I'll show you some best practices to use Instagress. So first things first, anything you do, you want to stop the activity to make sure you're not overriding anything. So this here is pretty self-explanatory. It means that we're engaging in likes. We're not having the bot write any comments on any accounts, and we're doing follows and unfollows. The schedule is really important to customize. Um, and the idea here is that you don't want to have the bot running 24/7 because otherwise Instagram is more likely to recognize that it's a bot. So you really want to have a schedule that imitates human activity. So research shows that there's a lot of activity from 12 to 2 a.m., weekdays between 6 and 8 a.m., between at lunch break between 12 and 1, and then usually a bit in the afternoon, and then also at nighttime. And obviously on weekends, the timing is a bit different. People aren't really on Instagram from like 6 to 8 a.m., but they are later in the day. And then the time zone right now is where we're based. But if you see that your following base is, let's say you're based in California, but most of your followers are based in Paris, then you'd want to adjust the time zone so that your bot is active on your followers time zone. So right now we are in the setting Travel Vive 1, and that's a setting that you want to use to start anything new. So I've preset the targeting settings so that they are optimized. Same with speed, filters. So for instance, here, this means we don't want to comment on any post that has more than 50 comments, right? And the reason behind that is that after, if you commented on a post that has 200 comments, your voice is just kind of getting lost in the noise and it's not really being effective. We also wouldn't want to comment on or like something that has less than 5 likes, probably because that means it's a very, it's a really new account or a fake one, etc. But these are settings that you really don't need to touch because I've preset them. So what you will be really, when you set new settings, what you will be looking at are changing the tags, changing the location, and changing the usernames, right? And then again, blacklist and everything else has already been set to be optimized, so you don't need to bother looking at it. So right now, these are the settings we have. And let's say we wanted to create a new setting. So what you could do is delete all of this. And let's say now we want to do a setting focused on, we want to really interact with accounts focused on Los Angeles. So let's just, for the sake of it, look for Los Angeles tags. So this is, anything over 1 million means there's way too much content out there. And again, you're just going to get lost in the noise. So really keeping things, interacting with tags that are, that have less than 200,000 tags is really a best practice. So for instance, Los Angeles City, Los Angeles area, Los Angeles graffiti, if that's something we're into, etc. Right? So let's say Los Angeles, California, we like Los Angeles living. Great. So now we have our Los Angeles setting, Los Angeles tags. A good practice is to click on that tag and see what kind of content is being posted. If you see there's a lot of promotional content or adult content, that's something you would probably stay away from. These all look great, but make sure, realize that they're the top posts. So now let's look at the most recent posts, right? And it's pretty okay. We don't see a lot of promotional content. let's say this makes for a good post, and you a good tag, and you want to check any all of the following tags. Now we want to change the locations. So for location, it's best to use kind of local, really specific locations rather than just Los Angeles. At a big city level, it's best to really be able to pinpoint more specific local destinations, to be able to be more targeted. So these are, Fashion District, Bel Air, Westwood. What else do we like? For instance, Main Street, Los Angeles, etc. Right? Great. For instance, 3rd Street Promenade, etc. Now we're good with that. Now, same with usernames, right? We would delete all of this. Now, let's see what accounts we can find in Los Angeles that have a lot of engagement. So here, this seems like it could be a good deal, but let's look at it and let's see if they have a lot of engagement, because this means that we're going to be interacting with the followers of these accounts. And so we want to make sure that the followers on these accounts are actually real and active and engaged, because if not, it doesn't make sense for us to be interacting with these sort of like dead accounts, right? So let's check out these first couple of ones, for instance. So here, for instance, we see, that's the setting, that's the hashtag they're using, and that's potentially something we could be using. So they have nearly 500,000 followers, and we can get a quick idea by scrolling over, right, that let's say they get about 20, even less, but, let's say to be nice, on average, they get about 20,000 likes on their post, right? So that's less than 10% engagement. It's not ideal. Let's see what these posts are like, right? It's a bit of a lot of everything. It's not necessarily the best hashtag, excuse me. Let's see about them. 150,000 followers, and it looks like they're getting about 5K likes. Right? Let's say we like this one. For instance, we go back here, we'll select them, and then same, right? Almost, so 800,000 followers. All right. For just the sake of this example, let's use them. Let's check Los Angeles world. Let's make sure their content is good and acceptable. It is. Again, I didn't look at the engagement just because this is an example, right? So let's say we like this, we add it, and obviously you'd want more tags, locations, and usernames. Now, this is really important. You want to now save this setting. Make sure you don't save it when you create new settings. Make sure you don't save it on top of any other pre-existing setting, because if you do, that's going to erase the previous setting and research, right? So you would do saved preset, and you would do, let's, for instance, Los Angeles test. You would write it. Now you would save it. Great. And now if we want to go, for instance, to our settings manager, we can see that we have, our previous settings plus Los Angeles test, right? So let's go back. So now let's say, so just for sake of clarity, here are our new settings, right? Now let's go back and let's say we want to relaunch our travel settings. Load it first. Don't click save, because again, if you save it, that means, hold on, let me just show you. If you were to click save right there, you would be setting your travel V1 settings as this, right? So again, make sure you select this, load. So it's going to reload the settings. And now we're going to see that our tags, locations, and usernames were from um, our previous settings. And then here we'll turn this off, make sure that the calendar is as it should be, and then we can press start. And that's it.